Hey everybody, how's it going? This LTM here. I'm at Miller's house right now, and we are here to watch Disenchanted.
Hello there.
So I actually remember watching the original Enchanted when I was a kid. It's actually a really good movie. It's been a while, but I do remember liking it a lot as a kid. I saw it when it first came out at the old Cinemark Theater down in La Follette many years ago. And it was announced that they were making a sequel to this movie, which I am kind of skeptical about. I was not expecting a sequel for this, so I've heard mixed things, but we're gonna see. And here we are right now. So just like usual, I'll just give you all my thoughts after the film. This is LTM and everybody else, and we'll be right back. I'll be right back.
See you guys.
Hey guys, so technically I watched the film last night with Miller and the guys. So basically I kind of went home and I got pretty tired and stuff like that, so I ended up not doing the video last night. But I am doing the video now right before I'm about to clock in for work. Just gonna give you all my quick thoughts on this movie. So the original Enchanted I actually really like a lot. I will admit it hasn't aged as well as some of the other Disney films, and the whole movie was just only exists just to cash in on Shrek, kind of like Chicken Little and Romeo and Juliet. But, you know, it had its own identity. It was a parody, and it was fine as a fine rom-com. So now we have this sequel, which I was kind of expecting this, considering that Enchanted has somewhat of a following over the years, so I kind of expected a sequel to happen at some point. And with early 2000s and 90s nostalgia being big right now, I kind of expected Enchanted to have a comeback. So Disenchanted, it's 15, maybe 20 years later. I can't remember how many years it's been. I feel old. So, you know, Gazelle is back. She's still played by Amy Adams. She's married. I guess they acknowledge she's married to the guy from the first film. The daughter, she's now a teenager now. And the teenager is basically a brat in this film. And Gazelle is still learning about the world and stuff like that. And they move to this small town where it kind of looks like a fairy tale, but it's actually just a suburban neighborhood with a fairy tale look-alike. And the daughter from the original, who is now a teenager, I keep forgetting her name, is not happy with her new home. So Gazelle gets this one from the knight, who is played by James Marsden, who's back in this film. And basically she makes this wish where everything would be different, everything would be like an actual fairy tale, and that's what happens. But she comes across this other woman in a scene. She's played by Maya Rudolph, who was technically the bad guy in this film. When she makes the wish, Maya Rudolph becomes the evil queen. But then sooner or later, it starts finding out that Gazelle ended up being an evil stepmother as well. So it's up to her to stop this curse, as well as turning everything back to normal. So the best way to describe this movie is like Shrek 4 meets Once Upon a Time, meets WandaVision, meets No Way Home, though be it without the crossover stuff. I was getting that sort of vibe while watching this film, and yeah, I didn't hate this film. It's not good, but I'm not really mad at it, honestly. I was kind of expecting this to be I had no idea about the ratings when going into this film. I do know the movie's gotten some mixed to negative reviews so far on RT, but then again, I try to avoid Rotten Tomatoes, so there's that. But my overall thoughts, guys, it's not very good. It's kind of awkward and kind of unnecessary. There are some good things, though. The performances are very well done, very good. Amy Adams and Maya Rudolph are having a ball in this movie, and they're at least trying. James Marsden's pretty good, but he needs more screen time, man. He could have had a better character than what he did, because I liked him better in the first film. The characters, though, I don't really get into. At least the new characters. I don't like them. They're not very memorable. The story, like I said before, it's been done a million times. It feels like it's trying to be too many different things. It doesn't know what it wants to do. There's an idea, but if this didn't have Enchanted written all over it, I think it would have been fine on its own. But since this is a sequel to Enchanted, I just didn't think it didn't work. The editing felt a little bit off too. Like there's a scene where she's talking to the daughter and she's switching back and forth to being good and evil, and it just felt kind of choppy. But I think the biggest problem for me was the CG effects. And they're not terrible, they're not the most uncanny or the most awkward, but they are the most cheap. I don't know if it's just me, but like, for example, there's a scene where the chipmunk from the first film is turned into a cat, and it kind of looks like a radioactive Garfield. It just looks kind of awkward. And there's like a scene where the dad, who is basically turns into a knight in this film, he's going to go fight this dragon, and then suddenly once he starts flying in the air, and it's such a cartoony way that me and my buddy started laughing during that. I should have recorded that because it was just so awkward and weird. But yeah, it's not great. There are some good things though, like the performances. Some of the songs are okay. They're not as good as they were in the first film, but there's something I wouldn't mind listening to once in a while, especially that villain song. There's a very nice villain song in there. And even if some jokes don't work, because the movie was just, even though the movie was kind of unfunny most of the time, there are a few funny moments, but aside from that, it's just kind of it's just another way of saying, it's just Disney's way of saying, hey, remember this movie? Let's bring it back. And that's what this film technically is. I do understand the problems with this movie, because technically this movie I do know that this movie went through a lot of development hell, and I do know that there have been a lot of stuff with Disney. There's been a lot of stuff with Disney over the past couple years, so I could kind of see why this ended up being kind of a disappointment. It's not the worst, but it's not good, but I'm not really mad at it, because you could tell the people were trying to make something good out of this, but it just ended up being a mess. I give Disenchanted a 5 out of 10. Not awful, just kind of mediocre, and just a sneaky way for Disney to make something very nostalgic. Alright guys, so that's Disenchanted. It is Thanksgiving week, so before I let off, I just want to say I do have an editorial planned this Friday. It's hopefully gonna arrive around maybe 6, maybe 7 o'clock. I know I haven't been posting a lot lately, but as you can see, I've been working at my job, and it's been kind of a slow time right now for me because I've got to focus on my job. It's the holidays, but I can promise you this: next month I've got a lot of Christmas related stuff coming next month, and you don't want to miss that. So there's that. I do plan on seeing movies like Strange World and Devotion. I will probably do vlogs on those as quickly as I can, but I got 2 movies that I've kind of missed out on this past week, and I got to get those out of the way. If I don't end up going to see them, then I'll just wait another time, wait till DVD, maybe do an editorial on those, I don't know. But I've got some movies planned on going to see for vlog reviews and stuff like that, so I'm still active, guys. I'll keep y'all updated. I do have a community tab on my channel now, so if y'all want to check that out, that'd be great. But other than that though, I hope you guys hope you enjoyed this vlog. Have a happy Thanksgiving to you all. Please subscribe, comment below. This is LTM, and I hope you guys have a happy Thanksgiving.